January is the month of lies. If you've worked in the fitness industry as long as I have, you eventually learn to hate the calendar. January 2nd marks the beginning of the migration of repentant souls. They arrive in schools, wearing lycra clothes that still smell like the store, carrying colorful water bottles, fueled by the fragile determination of someone who spent 3 weeks stuffing their face with holiday roast and sides and now wants a pop star's body before carnival. We call this Project Summer. I call it Project Desperation. My name is Danilo. I'm a personal trainer and floor instructor at Iron Fit 24 Hour, one of those low-cost gym chains that have spread through São Paulo like a fungal plague. Black walls, neon yellow lights, electronic music played too loud, and membership fees that are way too cheap. I work the shift nobody wants, midnight to 6 in the morning. It's a lonely shift. The crowd at that hour is usually made up of insomniacs, ER doctors, cops, and a few antisocial meatheads who hate sharing equipment. The sound of weight plates clanking echoes in the empty warehouse like gunshots. The smell is a mix of rubber, citrus disinfectant, and cold sweat. But this specific January, something was different. It started with Mariana. Mariana had been a regular student on my shift for about 6 months, a nurse, 30-something, slightly overweight. She was always nice, the type who brings coffee for the instructor and chats about TV shows between sets on the leg press. Her goal was to lose 5 kilograms, about 11 pounds, a healthy, realistic goal. When I came back from my New Year's break on January 3rd, Mariana was there. It was 3:15 a.m. I was at the front desk, fighting off sleep, when she walked in. I almost didn't recognize her. In less than 2 weeks, Mariana looked like she had lost 10 or 15 kilos, 20-30 pounds. Her workout clothes, once tight, now hung off her body like empty sacks. Her face was gaunt, her cheekbones protruding like blades beneath pale skin. There were deep purple circles around eyes that looked glazed over, focused on nothing. "Mariana?" I called out, stepping out from behind the counter. "Wow, long time no see. You look different." She didn't smile. The old Mariana would have made a joke about cutting carbs, but this Mariana just turned her head slowly in my direction, like a robot with rusted gears. "Need to train," she whispered. Her voice was hoarse, dry. "Sure, but are you okay? You're pale." "Spinning room," she said, ignoring my question. Kleber said, "The spinning room is closed for maintenance." Kleber was drinking his whey protein, scrolling on his phone. He didn't even look up. "It's a high-performance group, Danilo. New franchise protocol. Metabolic hit. Elite stuff. Don't worry about it. They pay for a black diamond plan. But they look like crack addicts, Kleber. Seriously. Their skin is melting off. And what is that smell?" Kleber finally looked at me. The white smile vanished. His eyes went cold. "Are you a doctor, Danilo?" "No, I'm a physical trainer." "Then train physiques and leave the management to me. If they get sick, they sign a liability waiver. Your job is to watch the weight room and make sure no one steals the dumbbells. The bike room is rented for a private project. Don't meddle, stay in your lane." He patted my shoulder, a pat that was a little too hard. "The job market is tough, Danilo. Don't lose your job over curiosity." I went home, but I couldn't sleep. The image of Mariana haunted me. I knew what drugs did. I've seen people abuse diuretics, T3, clenbuterol, but this was different. They weren't just drying out fat. They looked like they were being consumed from the inside out. Last night, I decided I wasn't going to ignore it anymore. It was 3:40 a.m. The zombie group, as I'd mentally nicknamed them, had been inside the spinning room for 20 minutes. The gym was empty, except for them and me. I went to the door. I pressed my ear against the glass covered by the brown paper. The soundproofing was good, but not perfect. I could hear the hum of the bikes spinning, but I didn't hear any music. Spinning classes have loud music, shouting, and motivation. In there, the only human sound was moaning, muffled screams of pain, crying, and someone is vomiting. I looked at the keypad. 4 digits. I remembered the gym's anniversary. Nothing. I tried today's date. Nothing. Then I remembered Kleber's ego. He had a tattoo on his arm. 1985. The year he was born. I typed 1985. The light turned green. I took a deep breath, pulled my shirt up to cover my nose, and opened the door. The heat hit me like a physical punch. The temperature inside must have been bordering on 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. The air was thick, unbreathable, saturated with humidity, and that chemical smell of rotten vinegar mixed with boiled meat. The room was dim, lit only by red emergency lights along the baseboards. There were 12 bikes, all occupied. But they weren't just pedaling. Mariana was on the front bike, strapped to the machine. There were Velcro straps binding her wrists to the handlebars and her feet to the pedals. She was pedaling at a frantic, inhuman pace. Her legs were spinning so fast they were a blur. But she wasn't doing it voluntarily. Her bike and the others were connected to an external motor. The motor was forcing the pedals to turn. If she stopped applying force, her legs would be snapped by the mechanical movement. She had to keep up with the machine's rhythm to avoid having her bones ground to dust. But the worst part wasn't the forced movement. The worst part was the masks. Every student was wearing a transparent oxygen mask, connected by tubes that went up to the ceiling, feeding into the AC vents. Inside the masks, a yellowish gas was being pumped in. Mariana looked at me when I entered. Her eyes were red with burst blood vessels. Her skin glistened with sweat, but also with blisters. Small burn blisters covered her arms. She tried to scream, but the mask muffled the sound. She was cooking, literally. "My God!" I shouted, running to her bike. I tried to undo the Velcro. They were locked with industrial zip ties. I looked at the bike's panel. There was no stop button. The wiring went straight into the wall. The other students didn't even look at me. Some seemed passed out, heads hanging low, but their legs kept spinning, driven by the motor, tearing muscles and ligaments in unconscious bodies. "What the fuck are you doing here?" The voice came from the back of the room, from the shadows. Kleber was there. He was wearing a white hazmat suit and a professional gas mask. He was holding a tablet. "Turn this off!" I screamed, coughing from the heat and the chemical smell. "You're killing them! Mariana is burning up with fever!" Kleber walked calmly toward me. He looked huge in that suit. "They're not dying, Danilo. They're metabolizing. Do you know what DNP is? 2,4-dinitrophenol?" He pointed to the tubes in the ceiling. "It's an industrial compound, used to make explosives in World War I. The workers who handled it lost weight until they vanished. It uncouples oxidative phosphorylation. Basically, it makes the cells stop storing energy and turn everything into heat. Fat turns into fire. This is poison." I tried to lunge at him, but the heat was making me dizzy. My legs felt like lead. "It's efficient," Kleber shouted, his voice muffled by the mask. "They signed the contract, Danilo. They wanted to lose 10 kilos in a week. They begged for this. I'm just giving them what they asked for." The gas raises their basal body temperature to 40 degrees. They burn 5,000 calories an hour sitting there. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it cooks the internal organs a little bit. But look at her. He pointed to a woman in the second row. She was skeletal. She walked in here wearing a size 14 on Monday. Today is Friday and she's a size 4. Her project summer is done. Who cares if she needs dialysis for the rest of her life? She'll look skinny in a bikini. You're sick. I tried to punch him. It was a mistake. I had been breathing that toxic air for 2 minutes. My strength was gone. My punch was slow, pathetic. Kleber just grabbed my arm and shoved me. I fell onto the rubber floor. The floor was hot. It burned my hand. I saw Mariana looking at me. A tear of blood ran down under her mask. She mouthed something. I read her lips. Kill me. I stood up, stumbling, and ran for the door. I needed to call the police. I needed to get out of that oven. I grabbed the handle. Locked. The session isn't over, Danilo, Kleber said, typing something on the tablet. The locks are automatic. They only open when the thermal cycle ends. 30 minutes left. I heard a mechanical click come from the ceiling. The hissing of the gas got, and since you're here, and you've seen the franchise's trade secret, I think you need a workout too. You've been looking a little bloated, Danilo. Too much beer over the holidays? I felt my throat close up. The air was turning yellow. Kleber walked toward me. He wasn't going to put me on a bike. He didn't need to. Just being in that room was enough. DNP in gaseous form is absorbed through the skin and mucous membranes, Kleber explained, as if giving a biomechanics lecture. Without the mask, you'll absorb a lethal dose in, let's say, 10 minutes. Your temperature will rise to 42 degrees. Your proteins will denature. Your brain will cook inside your skull. It's a quick death, but hot. I ran to the windows covered with brown paper. I pounded on the glass, double-tempered glass, unbreakable without a hammer. I screamed for help, but who would hear? The gym was empty. The soundproofing was perfect. Kleber sat on a stool in the corner, crossed his legs, and kept monitoring the data on the tablet. Save your oxygen, Danilo. The more you move, the hotter you get. I felt sweat break out on my forehead. It wasn't normal sweat. It was a flood. My shirt was soaked in seconds. My heart started beating out of rhythm. I felt a burning in my stomach, as if I had swallowed hot coals. My vision began to blur, yellowing at the edges. I looked at Mariana. She had passed out, but her legs kept spinning, spinning, driven by the relentless motor. I heard a dry snap crack. Her knee had broken. The bone tore through the skin, white and shiny, but the machine kept forcing her leg to turn, grinding the joint with every rotation. Kleber didn't even look. I fell to my knees. The floor was boiling. I tried to crawl to the door. My skin was red, throbbing. I could feel my blood bubbling in my veins. It felt like being inside a giant microwave. 20 minutes left. Kleber's voice sounded distant, metallic. Hang in there. Think of the results. Think about how shredded you'll look in the coffin. My eyes are swelling. I think my tears are evaporating before they fall. I'm writing this on my phone's notes app, with fingers slippery from sweat and the grease leaking from my pores. The battery is dying. The phone is overheating too. If anyone finds this phone, if anyone finds what's left of us, don't believe the official report. They'll say it was a fire. They'll say it was a short circuit in the sauna. It wasn't. It was Project Summer. Kleber is standing up now. He's coming toward me with a syringe. To speed up the process, he says. I'm so hot. I just wanted the air conditioning to work. Mariana stopped moving. The machine keeps spinning her legs, but her head has fallen back. Her mask is full of black vomit. Kleber is smiling. It's January. It's the month of Project Summer. It's the month of lies.